guys, Dean here, doing a review I've been waiting a little bit to do on the Halo Salvus 7, one of their production run guitars that they do. I've been waiting a little bit to do this because I want to make sure I got a really good feel for the guitar and I gave it enough working on before I actually said anything about it. If you guys have followed me on Facebook or anything else, you know I've obviously been saying pretty good things about the guitar. But I'm going to go over everything on it. The good, the bad, the ugly, specifications, all that stuff. First thing I'll go over are the specs on the guitar itself. The guitar does have an alder body, which is pretty nice actually. I'll get into one of the downsides of that in a little bit here, and it's not really alder itself. I got one loaded with bare knuckle juggernauts, 7-string models obviously. It's got a 3-piece maple neck, topped off with an ebony fingerboard. It's a 27-inch scale, which is something I personally really enjoy from playing my 8-string so much. I don't really like normal scaled guitars anymore. 27, like 28 seems to be perfect for me. It's got what I assume are Halo's own tuning machines, which I actually really like. They have really big heads on them, which I don't know why. I enjoy that. A Graphtec XL black tusk nut, which I've always loved Graphtec stuff in terms of nuts and saddles. Especially their retrofitted for Floyd Rose compensated saddles are really nice. Tune-o-matic bridge. It's got a 1 volume, 1 tone, and obvious 3-way pickup selector. It is bolt-on construction, obviously. And that pretty much does it for specifications. Let's get into downsides of the guitar, because that seems to be what everyone wants to know more than anything. The biggest downside I found on this guitar so far, and I did bring this to Halo's attention, is the finish. When I mentioned earlier with the alder body, it's something I personally don't like about it. They use extremely thick amounts of gloss on the guitar, which is cool. It makes it all shiny and nice to look at. But the issue is it's a see-through black finish. It kind of gives it like a purpley color, which I think is amazing. Like I've owned an ESP a long time ago that had a see-through black finish, and I thought it was gorgeous. But because they use so much finish, it's hard to actually even see the grain of the wood. And it kind of confuses you on the color of the guitar when you're actually looking at it. But that's fine, the color thing really isn't an issue. The thing I kind of got with it is it kills the sustain and actual like resonance of the guitar because there's so much finish on it. It obviously still sounds good, it still plays amazing, all that stuff. If you guys watched either of the 2 videos I did with it, obviously I have no issues playing the guitar. But the biggest downside I felt with it was the overabundance of finish on both the neck and the body. I have a sinking feeling that I'll end up actually sanding the neck down a little bit, not because of the size of it, but because of all the finish. I personally like guitars that have more of an oil finish neck. Besides that, there really haven't been any issues. When I got it, I gave it a little setup. Anyone that's ever ordered any direct from retailer or direct from company guitars, you pretty much have to expect that you're going to have to set the thing up a little bit. Guys that just get the guitar and like, oh, this plays like crap, you're an idiot. You just bought a guitar that got shipped right from factory to you. Odds are you're not in the same state. It's going to go through a couple different climates before it hits you. Me being all the way in South Florida, it's hot and humid and nasty here, and I guarantee it sat in a post office or something for a few days before I got it. So, and not to mention on a truck. But it actually held up really well. The neck, I didn't have to do almost any adjustment at all on it. The intonation was great. I tuned this one into drop A just because for some reason I enjoy drop A tuning on 7 strings. Besides that, there really haven't been any issues on the guitar as of now. I mean, besides little setup things, like when I got it, the pickups were a little too high and they were choking out the string vibration. The neck joint is fairly comfortable for a bolt-on neck. It's not really that bad of a transition up to the body, and you really do get access all the way up to the 24th fret. The only other thing really I can think of that's a downside on it is they used 24 extra jumbo frets and again, this is personal preference stuff. I prefer slightly smaller frets, just because I feel like it's easier to set the guitar up, and I can generally get the action lower on slightly smaller frets than extra jumbo. They're like ESP frets. It actually feels very similar to an ESP guitar. The neck is interesting. I can see the neck going either way for people. Me being from a heavily Ibanez background when it comes to guitars I've owned, 6, 7, 8 strings, it's not an Ibanez neck by any means. The closest neck I could compare it to, I forget who I was talking to, but I brought this up to them, it feels like if anyone played a Carvin Holdsworth, not the headless one, the Fat Boy, the semi-hollow capped guitar, it feels like a 7-string version of that. It's a thick neck, I mean it's got beef to it, but it's still extremely comfortable and easy to get around. You don't have to worry about the whole monster pain in the butt thing. And thicker necks are something I've been moving more towards. I know the custom I have being built is going to have a pretty hefty neck on it, but I've gotten to the point where I really actually do enjoy that. But I can see a lot of people hating on that and saying it feels like crap. The guitar is actually relatively loud, just acoustically, even with the extreme amount of finish on the guitar. That's pretty much it for the bad stuff. I really haven't had any issues on it. Things that I do enjoy about the guitar, like I said, when I got it, it was set up very well. The guitar plays, I mean, effortlessly. Like I said, no real issues with it, and it's extremely comfortable. It took a minute for me to get used to the neck. Once I got used to it, it was amazing. Tuning, even though they're Halo, I'm assuming Halo brand tuning machines, they actually hold fairly well. I mean, I've had to tune the thing. Once I stretched it out and set it up, I've maybe had to tune it like twice since I've had it, which is pretty cool, even after digging into the thing. Another thing I really do enjoy is the Tune-O-Matic bridge. I think these are extremely easy to set up for intonation, so if you do any crazy string switching or you're going from an extremely heavy gauge to a light gauge, changing tuning, and you need to adjust the intonation, Tune-O-Matic bridges have always been extremely easy for me to work with. It takes 5 minutes to set the whole thing up. The electronics were extremely clean, is another thing I liked about it. When I first got the guitar, I mean, first thing I did, bring it home, popped it out, started pulling the thing apart and looking at it, looking at the actual quality. The pickup routes are very cleanly done. The actual electronics, the way they're soldered and everything, it's a very, very clean solder job. It's not all gloppy and gross like I've seen on other guitars. In the past, the ebony fretboard is actually a substantially big chunk of ebony, which I also like. I'm a big ebony fan. I feel like it's a little bit brighter of a fretboard wood. That's pretty much it. It actually is a surprisingly good guitar considering the price. I got the one with the juggernauts because it's got the juggernauts in it. I think it's like $9.89 or so. Normally you can get it with DiMarzios or Seymour Duncan's, and I believe it's $7.39, which is a ridiculous price for this. I mean, personally, I would buy one of these over an Ibanez at that price point. If nothing else, for the customer service aspect of it. I've never had a company that was so quick to respond, so willing to listen to. I mean, they were more interested in hearing anything bad I had to say about the guitar than anything good. It almost seemed like they didn't care about everything I enjoyed on it. They were like, cool, tell us what you don't like, which is amazing. I know they've had a terrible reputation in the past, especially back in like the 09, 07 time period, and I saw some pretty horrible reviews on a couple forums. They've really turned it around. From my understanding, they pretty much switched the company completely over to the 180, and they've done a damn good job. I'm excited to see some of the custom work that they're going to have coming out. Another thing I did enjoy is the actual inlay up here, the mother of pearl where it says Halo. Gorgeously done. All the inlay work, obviously not on the fretboard, but all the side dots, the headstock inlay, everything is very clean. It doesn't look like they messed it up or scratched it all. The fret ends on this one, I saw somebody that apparently didn't get a good fret job. mine is amazing. I can run right up and down. It doesn't feel like I'm gonna slice my hand open, which I've had on plenty of guitars. But for the price point, if you're looking for a guitar in that area, around like the $700-800 area, it's not a bad idea to get one of these. Like I said, even over an Ibanez. I've owned plenty of Ibanez 7-string. And I mean, if you had an issue, you got the guitar, and you're like, well, I don't like the way this feels. I don't like these pickups. I'm unhappy with it. I feel like this fret job's sloppy. I mean, I'll bet you it'll take you 2 years to get a hold of somebody at Ibanez that will actually do anything about it. And odds are they'll just tell you, too bad. Whereas these guys, if you message them, tell them, hey, I'm unhappy with this, they'll jump right on it. If you're not happy, they'll offer to bring the guitar back, they'll switch it out, they'll give you a refund, whatever you want. I mean, that alone, the price point is insane. I'm hoping, like I said, I talked about the finish, hopefully they'll loosen up a little bit on the finish. I'd really like to see some oil finish guitars coming out of their works. Like I said, I'm very excited to see any of the customs they have coming out. If you guys do want to hear this guitar, if you haven't seen it already, I've got a heavy video I did demoing this guitar, as well as a clean video I did, more expressing this guitar and the pickups on it, which the pickups are a whole different story with the bare knuckle juggernaut. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I was able to help somebody out. And be sure to check out Halo Guitars, as well as my personal Facebook, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. Hopefully I've got plenty more stuff coming your way. Hey!